People are feeling better about that possibility, and it's not just because the president says we're closer. We've talked about that ad nauseum. It is instead coming as well from China, saying we are moving towards a better resolution to this. And the president extending time, that was another positive, Judge.
Yeah, past the March 1st deadline.
Yep. And so if you look at the stocks that are just moving, I mean, obviously NIO, the EV producer in China, and Warren Buffett was talking about Boyd, I believe, as well, with his interview with Becky. But EVs out of China, these stocks are going crazy right now because of the 60 Minutes broadcast last night, but also the broad market ETFs for China. ASHR is up 6.5% right now. FXI is up 2.5%. And if you look at where we came from, we were at 54 or 55 for the FXI at the beginning of 2018, Judge. Now we're at 45. Does it have a lot of room to the upside? The answer is yes.
Meghan, you take 2,800 on the S&P. How far can this go? I mean, we've had a debate as to whether the trade deal was in the market already, given the run-up from the December 24th low, or if there was a sizable move to be had. What do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we are optimistic on where stocks go from here. We think that the market is increasingly pricing in the removal of the threat of tariffs, essentially. What we think is still has room for the market to run on is what happens to the existing tariffs. There we think it's less priced in, and it's tempting to think of it as a deal or no deal, but we do think some of those details about what happens with the existing tariffs are important, and we don't see a real big effect on the global economy from the existing tariffs, but removing them either in a gradual manner or right away would be very bullish for the market in terms of what it would signal to businesses and the spillover effects from confidence there.
Weiss, how far do we take this rally now that you have what appear to be the makings of a trade deal?
Right. So I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I'd love them to keep kicking the deal down the road because the market's going to keep going up in anticipation.
And you've wondered whether sort of there's a sell on the news aspect. Well, today doesn't give you that feel.
Well, there's no news. There's no deal, really. I mean, there's news, but there's no deal. So I do think there will be a sell in the news. You'll see an initial pop when the deal's announced, assuming that the components of it are what we want to see. But you know, the market has not been assuming 25% for a long time. So we're talking about the 10% that it's pretty much adjusted for and that we've had in the earnings. So earnings coming down. So once the deal is done and assume Europe is behind it, then you're focused on declining earnings. So you'll be in that trading range. The trading range may be extended on the upward side, but I don't think we're running away from here. I also don't see major downside.
Yeah, well, I mean, you bought Deere.
I did buy Deere today.
That says a lot about your optimistic view, at least in the near term, about how the market's going to trade vis-a-vis a trade deal.
Yes, it does. So it's a trading call to take advantage of it. Agriculture is going to be a big part of the deal, we know. Deere looks like, if Josh were here, he may say that it looks like it's breaking out from its forever range and has upside. So it's on a tight leash. I've got enough exposure now. The only thing I sold Cat, maybe I shouldn't have, and I bought Deere. So, because Deere had a kind of a punk quarter, but yet it did okay after that. So look, yes. So the bottom line is the market will still trend up because that's what markets do 80% of the time. But you can't get carried away here. I have been cutting back, taking some profits too.